Laughing Vikings Live. High vibe chats with actors, comedians, and creators, plus stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, and most importantly, you. That's right, join us every Monday for new episodes, and you can be a part of the show on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch. Ask questions and interact in the comments, and make sure to share this with your actor, comedian, and creator friends so they can be a part of the show too. Can't make a live show? No problem. You can catch up on your favorite podcast platform and visit laughingvikings.com to find out how you can join the cast and crew. All right, it's time for today's show. Buckle up and make sure you stick around to the end because we have a special surprise for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Laughing Vikings Live. Happy Monday Fun Day. Let's go. Happy Monday fun. Wait, no, it is not Monday. It is Tuesday. We have switched our podcast day from Mondays to Tuesdays so that we can have a long weekend every weekend. And we have not updated the intro music. So if you're confused right now and you're like, what the fuck, Monday, what's going on? It is Tuesday. If you're listening to this later, you can probably ignore all this. I don't know what day you're listening to this on one of the podcast platforms. But right now we are live, and we're going to go live every Tuesday. So if you had Tuesday plans, you got to scrap those right now. No more Monday Fun Days. It's Tuesday Fun Day. Tuesday. I don't know what our Tuesday nickname is going to be anymore.
Tuesday.
Just Tuesday.
Yeah, just Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Hey.
The day's so nice, they named it twice.
Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. As always, everyone in the watching, wherever you're watching right now, could be on Facebook, could be on Twitch, on YouTube. Be sure to interact in the comments. Let us know what city you're watching from. And throughout, ask us questions, ask our guests questions, give us feedback, comments, throw some love in there, whatever you want to do. What else was I going to say? Huge week. This is I'm still like spinning. My head's spinning from last week. We had the launch of our Audition Hero 3-part training series, which was incredible. We had people from the US, from Canada, from Mexico, from Portugal, from the UK, from Lebanon. People all over the world joined and came together with us at that Audition Hero training. And for those of you who missed it, there is an opportunity. You can get instant access to the live replays. So the replays of the live training. Go to laughingvikings.com/audition hero. That's laughingvikings.com/audition hero. And you can register and then get access to all 3 of those lives where we were talking about how to step into your dream role as Audition Hero. We talked about developing an Audition Hero mindset, developing your audition processes and systems, and then becoming a part of a community as well. And then we did the launch of our 2022 enrollment for Laughing Vikings Actors Audition Club. We had a brilliant week. So welcome to our new members out there watching. Pleasure to have you here as part of Actors Audition Club. So it's going to be a great year of up-leveling your auditions so that you can step into that dream role and just build the life and career of your dreams. So once again, I'm going to plug that one more time. Go to laughingvikings.com/audition hero. If you missed it, there's 5 or 6 hours of really fun content and really fun training. So if you're a person who has been struggling at all with any types of self-submit auditions, whether you film them at your home studio or at a studio or via Zoom, go to laughingvikings.com/audition hero, and that 3-part workshop will help you up-level all your audition processes so that you can finally book that dream role.
Woo!
That's I know you're always good for a woo.
Oh yeah, always.
Yes. All right, so that's what we've been up to. Anything new in your world, BK Broiler?
Not right now. No. There hasn't been any. It was a very busy week last week for me at Laughing Vikings. I had a lot of audition sessions. I had 16 audition sessions last week, all helping people with a collection, a couple of commercials, lots of series, and a couple series lead roles as well. So it was a very interesting week at Laughing Vikings. Very busy, but very rewarding.
Yeah, lots going on here. Lots going on. Every week we're helping people either via Zoom or in the studio with commercial auditions, TV auditions, film auditions. Yeah, it's great. It's exciting. It's exciting to hear you in the back room. I always hear Brandon. I've mentioned it before. I hear Brandon, fuck yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
It's gotten to the point where I'll say boom, like not even like enthusiastically, to be like, that's the one. That's the one. I was like, no, well, I mean, we're gonna go one more time, but that was really good.
Right. Love it. Love it.
Oh yeah.
All right. So now that we got a little catch up here, this is episode 74. You've joined us. We have a fantastic guest who is an actor, an MC, and a stand-up comedian. And rather than me intro him now, we're going to let a little clip intro him, and we'll bring him into studio here. All right, Brandon, please roll the clip.
Now, every group of girls has one girl that they bring with them, and she is a fucking disaster. Which one of you three is it? I need to know. Red hair, you're telling a story on your own. What is it? Who is it? She put her fucking hand up. She's like, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know. I've lost 7 phones. I don't even know who the fuck I am anymore. I'm trying essential oils and crystals, but that's not working. I'm a fucking moron. I don't know. What's your name, sweetheart? Rebecca? Classic blackout girl name, right? It's always a Rebecca or Jessica. You see them running through downtown Chicago like, save Rebecca! Save Rebecca! Save her life! She's got the fucking Uber account! Save her life! The reason why Rebecca gets so fucked up is because when the girls go out for food and booze, Rebecca doesn't eat. She's like, you know what, I had an apple, 10-ish this morning. I feel fine, I saw this new intermittent fasting thing on Facebook. I'm also keto now, I'm gonna try it tonight. So instead of tacos, just give me 12 shots of tequila, I'll literally be fine. So she starts cranking shots of tequila. She starts blacking out. Now all the girls at the table realize what's going on. They're all like, ah! Red alert! Rebecca's blacking out! Then all 7 girls get up from the table and take her home. It's insane! They're like the birds from Sleeping Beauty. Everyone grab something. You're like, I got her shoes, I got her purse, I got her phone. Let's go! Save it, Rebecca! Then they get her to her house, they take care of her. Like, they put her in her favorite pajamas. The ones with the ducks. Shut up, put her in the ducks. I know they're her favorite. Put her in the ducks. Rebecca's all wasted. She's like, oh my god, I love ducks. I'm originally from Wisconsin. You guys are the best. Did you guys take my contacts out? You guys are the best. Then all the girls go back out until someone else in the group blacks out. They just repeat the motion until 4:30 in the morning. There's just one girl left sitting eating fucking pizza on a kitchen floor. In her bra, and she's like, great night, honestly. This was such a great night. We should do this more often. I feel like I'm eating Eric Johnston's body right now. Because that's what happens when a girl like Rebecca goes out with a group of girlfriends and she blacks out. Let's give her a big round of applause.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so pumped to have our guest here in the studio. You may have seen him on Netflix or on MTV. He's performed at JFL 42. He's also performed at the Comedy Store in Hollywood, the Laugh Factory in Chicago. He was the 2021 Coca Comedian of the Year. And I've got the privilege of co-producing a show in Bracebridge, Ontario on his Run with the Bull tour. Sunday, February 27th at 8 p.m. We will be at Bracebridge. You can check out bbhall.ca to grab tickets. Please welcome to the studio, Mr. Eric Johnston.
Hello. Oh, you do this thing with the fingers. That's fun. Look at this, boys. I feel like I'm already part of the crew. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This is a secret handshake.
Oh, we dance too. Fun. This is fun. Look at you guys. This is fun.
Welcome to the
Hey
studio.
guys, how are you? That was a nice intro, long video. I was wondering where you guys were going to cut. That's a long video. That's like a 12-minute bit. And I was like, I wonder how much of this they're going to have. And they had a good chunk. So that's good. Thank you very much. And yeah, in fact, I am Coca Comedian of the Year. And so that's good. And in a year that I did zero comedy. So that's good. And yeah, Lars, I'm excited to work with you. Someone's dying in someone's background.
Yeah,
Someone's
you're right there, Brandon. That's Brandon.
Way to go, Brandon. You can mute anytime.
That's the Danforth Sirens right there. In Toronto.
Yeah.
All right, they're just all the city of Hamilton. That's our theme song in here in Hamilton. That's
Oh, nice.
That's just the ambient noise in Hamilton.
Instead of white noise machines, we have sirens that just go off.
People freak out when the sirens stop in Hamilton. What's going on?
What's happening?
Anyways, what were we talking about? Me? Hi.
We're going to talk a lot about you. And to kick that off, all of our guests here in the show, our first segment is something called the 1 minute life story. Brandon's going to throw 60 seconds on a clock timer. And your job, Eric Johnston, is to take us through your life from conception right up till now and let us know all about Eric Johnston. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eric Johnston.
Does the siren go off when my 1 minute's up, or how does that work?
I think Brandon ding. Ding, 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 ding,
all right,
ding,
count
ding.
me in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eric Johnston's 1 minute life story now.
Let's go. My name's Eric Ronald Johnston, born July 11th, 1990 in the city of Hamilton, Ontario, St. Joseph's Health Center. Born to Kathy and Dan Johnston. Kathy, a commercial account manager for the Bank of Montreal, and Dan Johnston, a professional wrestler in the WCW WWF in the 1980s and 1990s. Like, as a child, I wanted to be like my father, but how do I do that? I couldn't become a wrestler. I became a dancer. From dance, I got into musical theater. From musical theater, I got into theater. From theater, I got into film and television. Film and television, I got into stand-up. November 1st, 2010, I did my first ever set of stand-up comedy in Vancouver, British Columbia. I started in Vancouver because I was going to the Vancouver Film School for acting for film and television. It's been 11 years, and I do over 200 shows a year. I've traveled all over North America. I've opened for Sebastian Maniscalco. I've opened for Russell Peters, Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, and now I'm here today, post-pandemic, going on tour across Canada and the United States with the Run with the Bull comedy tour. And Sunday, February 27th, I'll be working with Lars in Bracebridge. How's that?
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct. 100% correct. You got everything right there. That was good. Good breath work and breath control too.
What can I say?
You may have got the most words in a minute out of all of our guests here. We'll have
and you know what's funny? People are going to think I rehearsed that, but I didn't. I had no idea you were doing that. You threw a curveball, and I gladly accepted.
You yes-anded the shit out of that.
Well, I teach improv. I don't do improv, but I do teach it.
Nice. Amazing. Well, we want to talk about your origin story. So the first question I have, maybe you mentioned it there. Tell us about your first performance.
Of stand-up. Well, I mean, stand-up was November 1st, 2010. Like I said, I was living in Vancouver, going to the Vancouver Film School for film and television, which is an amazing program. I don't work for the Vancouver Film School, but I should, for how many people I've told about this program. If there's any young actors out there and you're looking to, up your level from the Laughing Vikings studio, of course, or downgrade. I don't know how well you guys are doing over there. The Vancouver Film School is fantastic. And I went there it's a 12-month program. While I was there, we were doing rehearsals one day. Michael Moses was also in the program, and also is now a touring, headlining stand-up comedian, and also my touring opening act, feature act, because I owe Moses my entire career. Moses was the guy who pushed me to do my first set ever, and he didn't really push me. He just said, "Hey, I'm gonna go do stand-up, and it's at this place called the Kingston. You should come and hang out." And from that moment, I watched his show and watched the show. And I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to do forever. I just knew. And I signed up the next week. It was November 1st, 2010. And I literally haven't stopped since, even through the pandemic. Even I found ways. I built a comedy club in my basement. I went on tour called the Eric Johnston Campfire Comedy Tour, where I toured people's backyards. I was doing alternative shows. I sold 150 tickets to an apple orchard, and built a stage out of literal apple boxes and hung a spotlight at an apple tree and did an hour, and just told like 150 people, just bring a lawn chair, give me $20 and we'll do a show. And I had like 3 opening acts, and I just kind of a do-it-yourself style comic by, have show, will travel by any means necessary. So here I am 11 years later, and I haven't stopped.
So take us back, because I know that your actual showbiz roots happened when you were much younger. So do you remember like your first like childhood performance?
Yeah, funny. So I was obsessed with comedy as a child. Still am obsessed with comedy as an adult. My dad was hilarious. Now, my dad was a professional wrestler. As I mentioned in my 1-minute intro, his name was Bullwhip Johnson. And, famous in Canada, not Macho Man, not Hulk Hogan, like he was a working class wrestler, but, had some accolades. He's in the Ilio DePaulo Canadian Wrestling Hall of Fame, the Canadian Wrestling Hall of Fame. He had a big pay-per-view event with WCW. But my dad, on top of being a wrestler, was known for being like one of the funniest people anyone ever met. I meet friends of my dad's. My dad passed away in 2003, and I meet my dad's friends, still to this day, and go, oh my God, your dad was the funniest guy I've ever met. It makes sense that you're a comedian. No one made me laugh like Danny Johnson, so I came from that kind of comedy entertainment, but also comedy roots. And my dad was also an actor, and he was a day player on a show called Bizarre in the 1970s with John Biner. And it was the first appearance of Super Dave Osborne, and which was obviously Canadian or a comedy royalty. And the show was filmed in Toronto, and my dad made it into like 4 or 5 sketches in that show. And so my dad was a big comedy guy, and we watched Comedy Network when Channel 44, the Comedy Network, first came out in the 90s. It was my dad found out that they were airing episodes of Bizarre. So my dad, being an ego-ridden entertainer, was like, we're getting this network. I might see myself on TV. So we would just watch Comedy Network all day. The original Just for Laughs tapings, the original Comedy at Club 54 tapings, the original like specials and Dean Martin celebrity roasts and stuff. So I had this stand-up comedy just living in me, and I had no idea. When I was 7 years old, I signed up for a talent show at St. Francis Xavier. Maybe I was 6. However old you are in grade 2, 7, I think. And I signed up and I did stand up. I did stand up at the school talent show, and I did impressions, and I did what I thought stand-up comedy was, and I just did Jim Carrey impressions. I did like stuff from like The Mask and Ace Ventura, and I did the scene from Wayne's World when he dresses like Marilyn Monroe, like Happy Birthday. I had no idea what it was. It was just things I saw in movies. And I got like second place, which is cool. That's the comedian story. Never first, always second. And that was my first ever like performance. And then I was bitten by the bug, and it was just like any way I could possibly get on stage. And again, it was dance, musical theater. In 4 years of high school, I went to like a theater arts high school, not a technical one. Just we had a Miss Morris and Dave Powers were the head of the drama department, and they would put on 4 plays a year, and I did all 4 plays a year of 4 years of high school. And then went to theater school, Humber College, dropped out of that because I realized that theater as a profession, no offense to anyone listening, is a little rough. So I dropped out of that, went to film school, started doing stand-up. So it went from my first ever talent show when I was 7 till my first ever actual stand-up comedy in 2010. So yeah.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, that's a great story and great showbiz origins through your dad. Yeah, it's clearly in your blood and in your genes.
Oh, God, yeah.
Do you remember your first paid gig as a stand-up comic? First time someone gave you money and not chicken wings and not beer tickets.
I was going to say, usually it was chicken wings. I think the first time I was ever paid to do stand-up comedy, I won a contest, which doesn't necessarily count. But Blair Streeter ran a contest. God, Blair Streeter. I haven't said or heard that name in a while. He ran a contest in Mississauga, and it was like funniest person, whatever. And I think they gave me like $50, and because I won the contest. It was like $50 and like 2 drink tickets, and I was like, "This is it. I've made it. I'm done. Right. I don't ever have to work again. I'm gonna just become a comic, getting paid $50 a gig, which was the way for a couple of years. But yeah, now I make a professional's living at it. So yeah, but I think that was the first time I was ever handed money. Like I went on stage, I performed, and someone handed me money. That was in Mississauga at Blair Streeter's event. And then I think there was this like, hey, here's $20 for gas, and like here's like whatever. I remember the first time I got paid for acting for film and television.
Yeah,
I have the check. It was for a commercial. The audition was at the original Powerhouse casting, and the audition was the filming. It was for a Xbox Live commercial for a game called Go Break Steady, and they brought all these actors in and dancers, and they were like, "Hey, solve this Rubik's cube while break dancing," and that was the audition, and we all obviously bombed. So they filmed that, and then that was they super cut that together for the commercial. And they sent me a check for $100, and I like framed it, and I was like 16, I think, or 17. And that was the first time I ever got paid for film and television. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's amazing. Brandon, what's next? You got something, yeah?
Yeah. You said you had a good audition story, Eric. So what is your audition process?
Oh, good question. So listen, it's gonna sound like terrible advice, but the longer that I've been in this game, it's not the less I care. Because I do care a lot. I still care. Like I'm auditioning for a big show tomorrow, and I'm legit nervous. I get more audition anxiety than I do stand-up anxiety. Like I can literally walk on stage right now and do an hour. But if someone's like, "You're auditioning tonight, and here's the page," I'd be like, "Woo!" Like I still kind of get that thing. But I've found that like the things. It's going to sound terrible for your young actors. The things that I was like hungover for, or I was like tired, or like I'm like I don't want to fucking do this. There was things like that. I generally and genuinely had the best auditions because I got rid of all of that pressure that I put on myself to be good and be funny and be on. And I kind of just was like, hey, Eric Johnston, 6'1" from Hamilton, Ontario, Butler, Ruston Bell, here are my hands. I kind of just threw it out there. And then that was always so much funnier. So that's kind of my process now, where it's not that I don't care. I just kind of think, just wipe away. Just be yourself. You're here. You've been cast many times before. And I'm at the point now, and this is going to sound very braggadocious, and I don't mean it to, but I'm at the point now where people are writing things for me. The last three commercials I was in were written for me. I had an audition. I have 2 really good audition stories. So the most recent U.S. national spot I did was for a company called Text Now. And the idea of the Text Now spot, the commercial, is you have the product is you have 2 phone numbers. You have your kind of day-to-day phone number, and then you have a phone number for nights and weekends and like your side hustle or whatever you do, it sounds very drug dealer-ish.
Your mistress.
Yeah, your mistress. Secondary. It's the idea of it is very wholesome to have 2 numbers on 1 phone. This is the audition. Now I get the breakdown for the original audition, and it's a hosty type guy, and hosty with a little edge, and he's not quite handsome, but he's not ugly, just like one of those kind of guys. And I thought, we'll see, whatever. And then we came on, this is Zoom, this is pandemic shooting. So this is the self tape and the callback were both on Zoom. Or so I send in, and then the callback was on Zoom. And I know when I get a callback, I'm already a foot in, right? Everyone knows that. You know, you're getting a callback for a reason. You beat out 1,000 people, and maybe it's down to 10, 15. So that helps. And then I'm just kind of like, again, not the I don't care thing, but just show them who you are. I always try to slide in a little bit of my life, a little bit of my story. So the joke was, we came on the Zoom. Director sees me. Jules Fitzsimmons is the casting director, who I have a long-standing relationship with. She's cast me in like 8 things. So I'm already comfortable. Jules is on the call, you know, the director there, and we're in this studio here. And I go, "Hey guys, how's it going?" They're like, "Good." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just welcome to my mom's basement, you know, where we keep the extra paper towels." And they all laughed. And I go, "Actually, I think my tap shoes are down here somewhere." And I was just saying that out loud. I was just being myself. And the director goes, "Tap shoes?" And I go, "Yeah, I danced competitively for 7 years growing up." He's like, "You did?" And I go, "You wouldn't know now, obviously." I go, "I'm a big, you know, jacked, masculine dude." But for 7 years, I did tap, jazz, ballet, music, theater, you know. And he's like, "Really?" And I go, "Actually, I have some dancing videos on my Instagram." I've been putting these stupid dancing videos on my Instagram, just being unapologetically myself. Just like what happened is every time I'm about to go on stage to kind of get in my body and get my energy up, I always dance in the bathroom of the hotel or condo that I'm staying in. And I realized this must look hilarious. So I started filming them, putting them on my Instagram. Sure enough, they go viral, not viral, like, you know, a couple thousand views, a couple thousand shares, whatever. And so they're all still on my Instagram. So I tell the director, "Hey, when you're done, go to my Instagram. It's Eric Johnston Who, and watch some of my dancing videos." He's like, "I can't wait to check these out." Doesn't the director finish the day, goes to my Instagram, watches all my dance videos. Now he's writing a commercial for me. He's going, "Okay, so he looks like he's an extra from The Sopranos. He's covered in gold jewelry and slick back hair. He's got a schnoz on him. Okay, cool. He's this Italian-looking guy, but he also knows how to dance." Those are 2 different personalities. This app is 2 different phone numbers. So he wrote a spot, and that was Frankie G, Go With The Flow Plumbing by Days and the regular day job. And then there's Go With The Flow Dance Studio on nights and weekends. I'm 2 different guys. He writes it. It's a spec. He goes to the ad company who's buying the spot and goes like, you know, "Well, we're going to do this 3rd spot. It's not kind of in the schedule. We're going to shoot it on location where we already are, kind of slide it in." And the ad company's going, "Okay, well, we'll take a look at it, but we've already, you know, we only have the thing for these 2. We shoot it. It's hilarious. We're improvising the whole thing. Like literally, there was no script. It was just like, you know, I improv this one line, and you can watch it in the spot. I'll send you a link after, where I go, you know, I gotta keep these 2 things separate, because, you know, I can't have someone call me with a problem with their taps, and I gotta say shoes or bathroom. And I said that, and the entire crew just went crazy. And you can see in the spot, I'm trying not to laugh, so I kind of look away. They kept the whole sequence in the spot and put it in. Doesn't Text Now go, "This is the ad." They run it US national, all over the place. And the lesson there is just be unapologetically yourself. There's, you know, we're all actors here, right? So we all know we go what it's like to, like, you know, come into an audition and you're like, "I'm an actor. Okay, I should be here because I'm an actor and I've done some things before, so I should be here." And it's like, no, man, just be yourself. This fake bullshit, they're gonna see right through, and they're not gonna cast you, and they might never want to see you again, because there's one thing that casting directors, and producers can see through, and it's bullshit. And so the second that you just become this young, like, hot actor who's like full of shit, talking about all the Discovery Network reenactment shows he's been doing, no one gives a shit. You know what I mean? Just be you. Be your thing that is you. I'm a guy who grew up in Stony Creek, who pretends to be Italian, who danced competitively growing up. Now there's a U.S. national spot about that. You know what I mean? So that's my first kind of audition story. I'll have another one quick because I've been taking over the question period. I'm in Splat-A-Lot. Splat-A-Lot is a TV show which is seen in 170 countries in the world. It is a medieval competitive reality game show for children. You take American gladiators and Wipeout and mix it together in a medieval setting. And I play one of the American gladiator types. His name is Vane, and he's this Jersey Shore Guido. What's up? I don't do cardio. I just do my upper body, and I just eat strictly protein. And he's this guy. That guy is just an exaggerated version of who I am. So I go into the audition. I get the breakdown. This is early in my career. This is 2012. I'm 22 at the time. And I get the breakdown. And I think I got sent the wrong breakdown because the character Vane was originally written as athletic CrossFit gymnast type who's very proper and eats a salad on his lunch break. This is what I get in my breakdown. And I call my agent and I go, this isn't right. I'm not any of these things. I'm literally eating a turkey sandwich right now. Like, this is not me. My agent goes, okay, well, we'll check, but they asked for you. And I went, okay. So my agent gets back to me and goes, you're getting brought in as a wild card. They have kind of all of these gymnast CrossFit type guys coming in, and they want to see something else. They want to see workout guy, but, douchebag workout guy. So I go, okay. So I'm nervous. It's YTV, right? It's YTV, ABC3 Australia, CBBC in the UK. And I am so excited. This is a massive gig, massive opportunity for me. It's kind of my first really big audition out of film school. And I'm so nervous and I need some sort of master sensei advice. So I reach out to Scott Yaffe. Scott Yaffe played the original Wink Yahoo in the YTV show Uh-Oh, which was one of my favorite TV shows growing up. I reached out to Scott and I said, hey, Scott, we met one time at an event, prior. And I said, we only met once before. I go, I just want to let you know, I'm going for this massive, spot for YTV. And, when I think of YTV, your name and face is synonymous, right? And I don't think I'm right for the part. If you were to give me one piece of advice, what would it be? And Scott's kind of this master yogi type. And he goes, make it you, make it you. They think it's not you, but you need to be so convincingly yourself that they have to pick you. They have no choice. And I just kind of changed that in my mind. And I went in and they're bringing me in. And Michael Yerkso was the casting director, famous One Girl, Five Gays castmate, and just like a Toronto, LGBT plus two spirit icon. And I see him and I know him. I'm already comfortable because I watched One Girl, Five Gays. Even though I'm straight, I love that show, right? So I'll watch it. I go, Yerksa, nice to meet you. I go, I'm coming in. I go, I'm telling you, I don't think I'm right for this spot, but I'm really excited to be here. And I walk in and it's just the casting director and, one or two people in the room. And we start interacting and I start going completely off script, completely, not completely off script, but completely improv, throwing it, making it myself. And I turned this CrossFit guy into Jersey Shore Guido. And I was like, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? You guys doing good? We're doing cardio. Not doing cardio today. We're doing back and buys for the guys. Me, you, boom. So I start doing stuff like that. People are dying. And they're like, hey, hold on one sec. We're going to bring someone in. He's going to come watch. Okay. He comes in, watch. He's dying. Okay, we're going to bring her in. Okay, okay, we'll do it again. Okay, boom. They end up filling the room. Literally, after I realized that was the director, the casting director, the main producer, the writer, everyone who's important on this show came in to watch this audition. And they rewrote the character of Vane as what I was doing. They changed it from CrossFit guy to Jersey Shore Guido. And they called before I even made it home from Toronto. They called and said, listen, clear your schedule. If you're filming all summer, splat a lot. And this is it. And again, that is another unapologetically make it your own. Be yourself. Unapologetically be yourself and make it your own. And just fucking go for it. You know what I mean? If I would have came in with the energy that I thought I had coming in, like, oh, these are all, and the waiting room was full of like Adonises, like 6'7", jacked, tanned, cut CrossFit guys, and I'm like, I'm like 6'1", like 230, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, what's up, guys? I'm like, you guys good? Like, I was completely a fish out of water, and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna be the fish. Yeah, I'm removing the water. It's just me, and I did it, and sure enough, it worked. You know, I've since tried that on other projects, and like, no, that's not the character at all. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? But you know, sometimes it doesn't work. But in that case, I was so committed to the spot and to being that character that they're just like, we have to choose him. You know, I messaged Scott and he said, congratulations, I'll see you out there. And what he said to me is, now you'll be the Scott Yaffe that I am to you. You'll be that to another young actor, of this guy who's just unapologetically himself, and you know, just so fun and just, you know, raw and clean and you know, just you know, oozes authenticity. That's the word I was looking for. And then we do these things.
I'm giving you snaps right there.
I'm doing a fucking TED talk on audition.
I like these.
Yeah. I got goosebumps a couple times on those things that you said.
Ooh, goosies. I love goosies.
It really aligns with our thinking of auditions, and our acting coach in the conservatory that we work with, Todoroff Conservatory. The idea of making it your own rather than playing that silly game of like, oh, what do they want, and then trying to jam a square peg into a round hole. It's like bring your own authenticity, and also the idea you mentioned of letting go of the neediness, like almost like it's a date. If you went out on a date with someone and someone's like, oh, what do you want me to be? Who do you want me to be? I hope you like me. I hope you like me. That energy is just repelling. But the idea of going in and bringing your full self to it. I love that you like the fact that you mentioned the tap shoes, the fact that you brought your own character to it. And then you're like, you hire me, this is what you're getting, and take it or leave it, versus a lot of people go in and they don't really make a choice because they're afraid to make a wrong choice. So they're just kind of medium, muddy water performance that doesn't stand out. So yeah, kudos to you. And you mentioned being that role model. There's a possibility people listening or watching this today are those people to you, Eric. So thank you for sharing that.
I hope so. You know, I teach acting on Monday nights. I have two classes. I have a class ages 7 to 12-ish, and then I have a class 13 to 18. And it's one of the greatest joys of my career to teach. And, you know, with my teenage class, these kids are so obsessed with the idea of not wanting to look cringe, they call it. I'm not gonna do that. I'll look cringe. And I go, you know, when you look cringe, when you half commit to a bit, that's cringy. You know, when like a comic or an actor is trying to do something new a bit, even on whether it's on stage or on screen or an audition or whatever, and they're not fully doing it. They have the idea. I'll be this type of character, but then they're afraid to commit to the bit. It's so fucking awkward. It's like I have to like look away like it's a monster in a movie. I'm just like, oh God, fucking commit to the bit. Like, go for it. And you know, I teach that to my students, like, go for it. Go. Like, I'll literally, if we're doing an improv game and I can see when my students is just about to get, you know, and I'll just yell, go for it. Like I'm like an Olympic like speed skating coach. You know, I'm like, go. I'm like, now, go, yes, yeah. And then they go and they get that pure, genuine laugh from their peers in the audience. You know, watching a teenager or even a young kid. The young kid is just the young kids class is kind of just basic improv games, kind of getting them out of their shell. But the teenage class, they're really, you know, learning about a laugh and watching a teenager's face get that first genuine laugh from an audience. It's like one of the greatest joys of my career. Like I get my own laughs as a comic, but letting someone else get one, it's, you know, it's really nice. It's because I needed that as a kid. I needed to get those first real laughs. Pick your spots and go for it. So yeah, that's what I love about teaching.
Yeah, and you witnessed the moment when they also became addicted to performing. You like, I know you're getting that good feel, you're getting that drug in your body. You're never going to be able to quit now. You're now an addict like the rest
Welcome
of us.
to show business.
Yeah. And one thing I also wanted to point out, and anyone who will just watch that clip of you will realize this. I've always been really impressed anytime I've seen you or either live or your video. Your performance style is you do put everything into it, and that's vocally and physically. You use your full body, you use the full amount of stage, your storytelling, you're using voices and you're using gestures, and it's I'm sure it's a combination of in the moment impulses and some meticulously planned moments, but you lose your full self. And that to me that's performers. And the other thing that you have is a level of showmanship where it's polished. Like, you're thoughtful about your wardrobe, you're thoughtful about your look, you're realizing, hey, this is a show I'm putting on, versus some people who maybe go up and they're just tattered rags. They look like everyone else in the audience and they stand in one spot and their voice never changes and they don't ever do anything physically. And then you wonder, like, people like that wonder, well, how come I'm not being noticed? How come I'm not a standout? But then you watch you and you're like, you can't take your eyes off you because you are moving, you're going up and down, your hands are flailing everywhere, but with purpose, not with just random movements and random pacing back and forth. So kudos to you. I do really notice that. And it's something that you remind me to do that when I see you, like, oh shit, I need to be using my full vocal range. I need to be using my full body. And I'm someone who's pretty animated and pretty physical on stage to begin with, but it's always been a great reminder. So yeah, that maybe just tell us, is that something that you developed over the years? Were you always aware of full body, full vocal, or was that something that you developed throughout your career?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for noticing. I'm gonna cry. That's so nice. But seriously, like, that's you're a comic, and this is not an intent to shit on other comedians, but you're a comic who sees that and understands why, and understands that I am doing that with purpose and with polish and with meaningfulness. There's other comics, and they're not going to turn this into what comics have said negative about me, because I don't really give a shit. But they go like, he's not funny, he's just big, his writing's not there, he's just loud, and I've heard that, and I went, okay, that's fine that you think that, but there's people who have been in the game a long time, like you, Lars, and there's people who respect the game, who study the game, who know what it is to do that with purpose. And it really comes down to my entire story. Watching my dad work all four corners of the wrestling ring taught me to work all four corners of the stage, and when to come forward, and when to move back and explode forward, how to work the corner, how to get the attention in the corners. People always feel like the show's only happening right in front of them, in front of the stage. I walk in that bit that you saw. I go from one end of the stage to the other with purpose. And it comes from not only the professional wrestling background that I grew up around, but, the musical theater, work the stage, work the props, work the everything. It's a show. And I've said this multiple times on podcasts, it's called show business for a reason. It's a show and it's a business. I'm going to set myself up in every possible way to be the best at both. Not only show, in business. And presentation is a massive part of business. You wouldn't go to a sushi restaurant that has the fucking sign hanging from a cord, and you walk in, they've got no tablecloths, they got no cutlery. It's like it's a mess. You're not gonna go, ooh, I want to eat sushi there. But you want to go to that, and you go see a sushi joint, and it's just like clean lines with art hanging, and the light is, they have a cool name, and that's I've never gone on stage without ironing my shirt before I went on stage. Everything is meticulous. My jewelry is part of my show. My jeans, my boots are part of my show. Everything, my leather jacket that I wear to the show. I don't wear it on stage. I'm not Dice. But I wear it to the show. People go, that's the guy. When I walk into a venue, whether I'm my face is on the poster or not, when I walk through that front door, the audience goes, that's the guy. They know, because I've presented that I am. I believe that I am. I'm exuding the confidence that I'm the guy that you're there to see. You're paying money to see me. At this point in my career, my tickets are anywhere from $20 to $25. That's basically an hour's work. Someone has to work in a factory or McDonald's or whatever, wherever they work. Not a lawyer or anything. They make way more than $20 an hour, but a standard, $20 an hour job, 15 to 20. That's someone working to see me. I respect that. I have an immense respect for the audience. I have an immense respect for the fact that they're paying to see me. It's a beautiful thing. And I am so privileged that I get to, without making it too much about money, I make as much money as a stand-up comic as some of my friends make in the trades. And I get to watch The Price is Right every day. You know what I mean? So I have an extreme respect for the fact that I make a living off this. And in that respect, I treat everything properly. My attire, my act, my promotion. When we booked that show in Bracebridge, which is a soft plug, hard plug, February 27th at the Bracebridge Hall, right away I said, okay, I'm making you a poster, I'm making you a promo video, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Here it is. Here's how to properly promote a show. I do all my own graphic design work. I do my own video editing. I taught myself all of this because I respect my business. So yes, it's well thought. And the idea of this big guy is, again, when I'm doing these interviews, press interviews that I ask for all the time, because I believe that if you're going to a town, reach out to the press in the town, the newspaper, the radio, the TV stations, and they all will get back to you, most of them, especially if you have some sort of a resume. And the number one thing people go, oh, we got Eric Johnston on the show. Eric Johnston, what can we expect from the Eric Johnston Run with the Bull comedy tour? And my answer is always, my show is taking the best and worst parts of my life and personality and firing them out of a cannon for 60 minutes. That's the show. And they go, well, we'd love to see that. I hope you got a safety net. You know what I mean? But that's what it is, and again, it just, the idea of being kind of this loud guy comes from doing theater and dance and stuff, but it also comes from starting in Hamilton, because when you start in Hamilton, all of the shows are hostage situations. No one's there for comedy. They're all like a pub that has a wing night there's also comedy. So when people were there to watch the Leafs game or bitch about their job, and then we were up there trying to do our material, the only people who got laughs were the kind of the loudest and biggest people, because it made the fucking guys go, hold on, I think this guy's saying something. What? That's actually kind of funny. You know what I mean? They kind of start to shift their attention. And that's just kind of how my style developed, was just like, fire me out of a cannon. Let's be the loudest and biggest guy. But also over time, 11 years of kind of doing that, you learn when to take the mic down. Like, you notice that when I'm yelling on stage, the mic either goes way down to my belly button, sometimes behind my back, because there's nothing worse than a comic who thinks they're fucking the guy from the 80s, the yelling
Kinnison.
Guy. Yeah, Kinnison, who's just like into a microphone. You're like, stop. I'm not that. I don't yell without reason. I don't generally swear or am extreme unless I'm in character, and that character being my mom, my buddy growing up, the guy in Northern Ontario, a drunk girl, a drunk guy. I'm not usually a big thing unless it's in character, because now I'm removing Eric Johnston from the craziness. So it's like, I swear actually quite a bit. And I'll have people come up to me after the show and go, I really love that show because he didn't swear once. And I was like, actually, I was swearing the entire time. But I'm swearing in character. So they don't think that Eric Johnston did it. They think the drunk guy in Northern Ontario is the guy who's swearing. Everything is very thought out because, again, I love it. I truly I'm addicted to the sound of laughter. So I need to get that. That's my fix. I don't do drugs. I drink. I'm having a glass of red wine as we're doing this, but I drink casually. I don't smoke. I quit vaping. I don't smoke weed. I don't do any hard drugs. This is my drug. And I throw everything at it. My mind, my emotion, my body, my voice, my back. Like, I have bad hips. I'm 31 years old with bad hips because I've driven this entire country by car, by myself. I have a bad left hip. My left leg goes numb often because I have pinched nerves in my hip from doing a show, then driving for 12 hours and then doing another show, because I'm fucking crazy, because I love it so much. I've put everything on the line for this and I respect it so much. And I don't, and it's, what you're saying, Lars, I just don't think guys care enough. They go on with a dirty t-shirt and and no promotion. How many pro comics that don't even have fucking headshots? How the fuck can you get put on a poster as a headliner without a headshot? I have everything: website, business cards, follow me cards, merchandise, fucking pop-up banners. I keep a speaker, a PA system, a microphone, a mic stand, and a stool in my car at all times in case I get to the venue and the sound isn't good enough, or they don't have sound, or I can just, someone's like, do you want to do a show here tonight? Like if I'm in town for drinks, and I'm like, yeah, I got my shit in the car, let's do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can't picture these people who just don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? So anyways, I don't mean to get so excited about it.
No,
It's
man.
just like I'm so passionate about it. No one seems to give a shit.
I love it. And you actually answered one of the questions I was going to get into, is the idea of your self-producing. And then you're one of a handful of people that I've seen from a distance. Jeff Leeson's another one that I've worked very, very close with, where he took me early on in my career, took me on tour. And I've always seen him book his own venues, book his own tours, book his own video gigs for companies where he pitches them on doing their videos or like web commercials and things like that.
Yep.
When did that start for you? Like, when did you make the switch from waiting to get spots or waiting for a booker to book you for a showcase to fuck this, I'm just going to create my own career?
Yeah, I think it was slow. I think there was some major benchmark moments where I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to do this on my own. Early on in my career, I was maybe 4 years in, but I was really making some strides, and I wasn't headlining, but I was a strong feature act before 5 years, because again, growing up doing musical theater and acting, I was already so comfortable on stage. I didn't have that 5 years of awkwardness to get comfortable on stage. I was comfortable on stage the first time I ever went on stage as a stand-up. So I kind of skipped that whole first awkward 5 years. So really the first 5 years was just really writing an act. And so I started as a strong feature act, and I was starting to get paid, and I showcased for Breslin, and I'm not going to turn this into an anti-Yuck Yucks conversation, but I at the time I put a lot of stake into signing with Yuck Yucks. At the time I was like, this is it. You're not a comic unless you're signed with Yuck Yucks, and some great comics have signed with Yuck Yucks, and there's still some amazing comics who are still signed with Yuck Yucks. But I showcased for him, and I did really well. Not nearly as well as I would now, 11 years in, but for 5 years in, it was a good show. And I remember Mark just fucking blew right past me in the lobby. Like, didn't say a word. And I just kind of went, huh? And then he walked away, and I just went, shit, well, now what? And then I just started working independent. I ran my own show called Comedy in the Creek for 4 years. I would sell 200 tickets on a Tuesday in Lower Stony Creek. It was sold out every month. I brought in some of the best headliners in Canada. Now I'm featuring for them. I purposely put myself 15 minutes in the middle of every show because I'm the promoter and I like to do time. So I would do 15 minutes before every major headliner in Canada. I did this for every month for 4 years. I started to really make the relationships, craft the relationships, and craft how to headline. Then I started headlining myself, and it was like, I started just cold calling comedy clubs. I would cold call. It's kind of a scummy trick, but it was kind of by any means necessary. I would call club. I'd find out the manager's name, and they say it was Gus. And I'd call the club, and I go, hey, how's it going? Is Gus around? And they're like, who's this? I'm like, it's Eric Johnston. Immediately, they're like, he must know Gus. Okay. Gus answers the phone. Hey, he's like, hello. I'm like, hey, Gus, it's Eric Johnston calling you from Hamilton, Ontario. How are you, buddy? And he's like, good, Eric. I'm good. How are you? And I'm going, well, listen, I'm going to be in Vancouver. I'm literally looking at an empty calendar. And I go, listen, I'm going to be in Vancouver from the 12th to the 17th. Listen, I'd love to headline the club from the 13th to the 15th. It's a little last minute. I'll take a feature spot. I'll host. I'm just going to be in the area, and I want to fill the dates, Gus. So I'd love to have it. And he cannot compute that I would be that full of shit. And he just goes like, okay, what do you want? 15, 16, 17? Yeah, I got that. You want to come feature? And I go, yeah. What's the pay? And he goes, I'll give you $150 a show in a hotel room. and you can sell merch. And I go, okay, Gus, I'll be there. I would fly to Vancouver and do the shows. And it would be on a must kill opportunity. You're not trying shit. You're doing just the A shit. You're doing that big fucking, energy guy, get in the audience, killing. Now Gus goes, oh yeah, he's a headliner. Yeah, I'll have him back in headline. And then they're going to have me back the next rotation. And I'd headline in 6 months, 8 months. I'd fly back to Vancouver and make $500 a show, sell merchandise, sell out of merchandise, hotel rooms, taking people out for dinner, taking the promoters out for dinner. And I just kind of created based on talent. Like if I went there and bombed, the story ends there. But just the kind of the confidence that I can and I should. And I did. And, that rubbed a lot of fucking comics the wrong way. I heard a lot of like, oh, Eric Johnston thinks he's always on tour. This guy's always on tour. It's like, yeah, I am always on tour. I'm doing shows in different cities every night. What do you define as a tour? Because that to me is a tour. I had a comic, a veteran comic who I was close with. He laid into me on Facebook once, like, I'm so sick of seeing your face everywhere. I'm so sick of it. So sick of seeing the Eric Johnston whatever tour. And I went, I think you're just mad that I'm just reminding you that you're not working hard enough. That's why you're mad. You're not mad at me. If you were as busy as me, you'd be like, hey, see you out there. But because you're not touring and your face isn't out there, you're mad. And I go, that's fine. I still have a drink with the guy, but that's just kind of how it is. You kind of got to fend for yourself. And that's kind of how I did it. And again, making my own posters, making my own graphic design and well, crafting my hour to be perfect. That when I get to these cities, they're like, he's doing an hour and he's going to fucking crush and then that's it. And then it just picked up. I started showcasing for massive clubs like Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in Detroit. I did one 15-minute set. I was with Jeff Leeson featuring for Jeff. And he goes, take 5 away from the opener. That guy's doing 20 for the rest of the weekend and he can headline his next rotation. Mark Ridley called from his house. He was watching on the webcam. I went and did one feature spot at the Laugh Factory. I was booked on one show. They put me on every single show for the rest of the weekend. It was like 8 more shows. You just got to show up and be willing to not fail because you can't fail. It's a no bomb situation, but willing to really put yourself out there. And then these promoters are like, okay, I guess you work here now. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll see you in September. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to describe it other than the fact that I just fucking went for it. Again, like the acting thing, like everything I've done in my career. And honestly, and just, I know you're trying to wrap up here. This is usually about an hour, but I will say, I will say, if you want to get deeper and more psychological about it, I will openly say this. My father passed away because he was an alcoholic. My father was an alcoholic because he was sad because he never really made it. That's not going to be me. It's not. I watched my father basically drink himself to death because he wasn't a star. He worked his whole life to be Macho Man, and he never was. He wrestled Macho Man. He worked with him, but he never was him. And he couldn't handle that. My dad was sad. He was a hilarious man. He was an entertainer by all degrees, with his roles in TV and commercials and his role as this, Hall of Fame professional wrestler. But not only that, but his role as a father and his role as a leader in our community. My dad was a celebrity in Stony Creek, but he wasn't a celebrity in all of Canada, you know what I mean? Or all of North America or all over the world. And he couldn't handle it. He was sad and he drank himself to death. I think if you want to get down to the root of it, I watched that and I went, it ain't going to be me. I'm going to make it. And I'm not only going to make it for him, I'm going to make it for me and also him, and I think once people realize that's really the root, they understand everything. They understand the poster making. They understand the video graphic design. They understand the cold calling the comedy clubs. They understand the speaker in the car. They understand the everything. They understand the iron shirts. They go, he's just scared to fail. And I'm not going to. Whether the industry says, like I will tell you right now, I will have a gala at Just for Laughs when the industry says it's okay that I can, because I can't be like, I'm doing a gala tonight, but I'm going to do things like galas every single night of my career, where that time that the industry goes, okay, listen, we kind of took a little break on guys like you, but we're having you back and we'd love you to be in the gala. And I go, okay, cool, let's do it. And then I'm ready, because I'm already a gala act, because I've made myself a gala act. The audience have made me a gala act. Like, I'll post a show and it'll sell out in like a half hour. Hopefully the Bracebridge show sells out in a half hour. But I mean, because people believe in it, because I believe in it. I'm the only person who's seen every single one of Eric Johnston's shows, and I've believed in every single one of them. And the audience will come away and they'll meet me at the merch table and they'll take pictures of me and they'll buy my merchandise just because they know how much I believe in it. And that's kind of my story. It's a comic who will never quit. And also kind of, you have to be really funny. Because if you're not, I don't care how much to quit you don't have in you. If you're bombing up there every night, maybe you should quit.
Amazing. Yeah, this has been amazing, Eric. Thank you for all this. This is a masterclass in self-starting and in determination and hunger and heart and all those things. So kudos to you for bringing that every night and for making it happen for yourself. I have another question is, in the future, what is a project that you aspire to create? What's next, or what's a
this is gonna work perfectly with what we just talked about. So I'm in pre-production with a documentary right now called Becoming Bullwhip. And the premise of the documentary is me as a 31, I'll be 32 by the time we go to film, a 31-year-old, somewhat successful professional comedian saying it's finally time to follow in your father's family footsteps and become a professional wrestler. I've honored my dad's life in every way. My branding, you've seen my branding. It's got the little bullwhip in it, and it's got all my stuff is, bull this, the Run with the Bull comedy tour, the No Bull comedy special, the, pictures of me holding bull horns and all that kind of stuff. I got a bull tattooed on my shoulder. There's the branding, but it's me. I am a bull. And then it's kind of my career is very bull-like, just head down, horns out, keep running forward. I've honored my father in every way, but I've never laced up the boots. So I'm going to, and I'm going to properly go through all the training. I'm going to properly, work out with some of the best wrestlers of all time, both active and retired. There's going to be interview sections. There's going to be travel. There's going to be, and it's all going to kind of crescendo at a match in Hamilton, Ontario, at the Hamilton Convention Center, which is the spot of my dad's last match ever. The last time my dad wrestled professionally was May 1st, 1999 at the Hamilton Convention Center. I hope to wrestle in the Hamilton Convention Center. I will. Hope is a negative language. I will wrestle in the Hamilton Convention Center at the end of this documentary. And people go, well, are you going to really become a professional wrestler? I go, yeah, for the documentary. And they go, what about after? I go, maybe. So I don't know. I don't know. And I'm sure I'm going to get my ass kicked. And I'm sure there's going to be tears of victory and pain and anguish. And my, everyone around me is going to cry eventually. My mom, my sister, my girlfriend, it's going to be an emotional documentary, but it's going to be hilarious. The fact that I am, a very kind of funny, riffy guy in awkward situations, this whole experience is going to be awkward for me because I'm a bigger guy, but I'm not tough. I've been in like 2 fights in my entire life. And I won one, and the second one was kind of a draw. We ended up just hugging for a bit. I'm not a professional wrestler. I'm not tough. I don't come from that school of hard knocks mentality, maybe with my career in terms of doing it, but not physically. So it's going to be hilarious, but it's going to be sad. We're going to touch on my dad's addiction and death, and we're going to touch on, mental health. We're going to touch on travel and being away from family. And I'm going to be away from, my girlfriend for a big chunk of this. And if you follow me on social media, I'm head over heels in love with my girlfriend. That's going to be a tough element. It's going to be every aspect. It has all the verticals. It has comedy, wrestling, addiction, mental health, triumph. All these things are there. It's just getting it bought. We're trying to sell it before we shoot it, and that's kind of what we're doing because, I mean, it's a tougher way to do it, but that's kind of where we're at right now. But I have been taking some incredible meetings, incredible opportunities, and talking to some, heroes of mine, personal heroes of mine, and friends of my dad's who said they're going to do anything to help this project. So hopefully this summer I'll be training to become a professional wrestler. So that's why I'm trying to get this tour out of the way now. I'm trying to tour all of Canada and North America between now and the end of May. So in June I can start wrestling. So that's why I'm so severely pushing this tour on February 27th in Bracebridge at the Bracebridge Hall.
Oh, nailed it. Yeah, I love that. Kudos to you and congrats too. What a great way to honor your dad and to bring his legacy into your story moving forward. That's huge and very inspiring too.
Thank you.
Brandon, anything else? Or should we start?
Yeah, Brandon, you've been real fucking quiet down there. You let me talk, you got to interject more.
No, it was a master class. We just sit back and ask the questions.
Yeah, we just sit back, let you go. We don't need much else.
Well, it's funny. My girlfriend chirps me lovingly. She goes, I love watching your podcast, but you talk so much. And I go, they're interviewing me. That's my fucking job to talk much. I go, they 100%. Have their show. They get their bits in off the top. They riff. Then they bring me on, and then I run this town for a bit. But it's not ego. It's literally just I love to not only talk about my story, but I know that every single time I do a podcast like this, where I've been a little bit funny, but I've been more real. I've been more, this is how this is, and this is how this is, and this is how I did this. I get messages from all over, people watching, go, that was so motivating. That was so great. Your story is inspiring. And I go, yeah, I want to give that to you because I don't have that scarcity mentality. I think we should all make it. I think we should all be famous. I think we should, if you're in this industry, whether you're an actor, an MC, a comedian, a writer, a producer, director, I want you to be here with me, with us. We're all in this together, especially in Canada. The unfortunate part about our industry is people go, I don't want that person to have that opportunity because it means that I don't get one. It's like, no. You can have one too. Come on. We got craft services. Come on with us. And it becomes, unfortunately, a kind of a crabs in the bucket. All these comics together and actors, the second that someone starts to do well, starts to tour or, they start to, go out on the road or have these big opening opportunities or big headlining opportunities, you see the comics just grabbing for them and trying to bring them down and talk them, or they make sure that they're doing some negative self-talk, or they're trying to, it's sick, and I watched it happen to a lot of such good comedians. And again, that was me when I went, it's not gonna be me. If you can make it past that first couple of years of other comics talking shit about you when you start headlining, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Literally, you become untouchable. The next tour I'm doing is called Untouchable, BULL, and that's kind of where you get to. You just go. It's like when someone says something negatively about you, you kind of go, "What was that?" And you're just okay. Anyways. I'm an 18-wheeler, fully loaded, flying down the road. It's like hitting a stone. You're like, anyways, and you just keep going. That's how you got to be as a comic, as an actor, as an MC, as a writer, whatever. If you're in any kind of industry, that's how you got to be if you're a fucking accountant. I don't care what industry you're in. Just as Eric Johnston would say, I'm self-quoting, head down, horns out, keep moving forward. You'll get to the green pasture. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it.
Let's go.
That's a moose. That is a fucking moose, Brandon.
It's Canadian. What do you want?
I love what you said about crabs in a bucket. We've mentioned that too. Is like instead of fighting and pulling people down, just look around and be like, we got some fucking dope ass crabs in this bucket. Why don't we throw a mic on and some cameras and film?
Let's all build a fucking ladder and get out of this together, you idiots.
Or stay and just film us all in the bucket. We got a great crab in a bucket show right here, all of us.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant. And also, by the way, you mentioned wrestling and not having that background. Has there been a tap dancing wrestler? Maybe little
twinkle
tap,
toes. I would get killed.
Little tap to the throat while they're on the ground.
Well, it's funny when I become a wrestler. I'm gonna become bullwhip. My dad's gimmick was he was a cowboy. He was a leather chaps with the leather vest and the hat and the whip and the whatever, and it worked really well for him. And I'm going to become that character. But it's funny, wrestling has kind of transformed over the years where gimmicks like that don't really exist anymore. Like Brock Lesnar right now is just a guy in jeans and a cutoff shirt. Kevin Owens is kind of just like a chubby guy from Quebec. You know what I mean? There's no like real gimmicks anymore. There's no like, this guy's a steamboat. You know what I mean? Like there's no, this guy's a barber. He cuts people's hairs. You know what I mean? There's none of that. It's more based in realism. So I don't know. I'm going to become Bullwhip, but am I going to become a cowboy? Especially I've spent so much time building Eric Johnston, the name, as a comedian, that I'm like, no, sorry, I'm Bullwhip now. I'm a cowboy. They're like, what? No, I saw you in Cornwall. Your name is Eric. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be fun, but I think that's going to be part of the documentary, is kind of finding that balance and finding that truth, you know, and while getting my ass kicked the entire time, because I'm gonna get my fucking ass kicked. And I think that's part of the journey. You know, it's a physical pain, it's a mental pain, it's an emotional pain, but from that will come triumph, you know, and beauty. And it'll really put me at peace with my dad and his death. You know, it's been my dad died in 2003. It's been almost 20 years. And I still think about him every day, you know, and there's a lot that I don't have from him, because he died 9 days after my 13th birthday. You can really only jam so much knowledge. You can only impart so much knowledge on a child, you know, in the first 12 and a half years of his life. You know, the first 4, you can't even walk or talk, you know what I mean? So I didn't have much time with my dad. And I think kind of lacing up the boots will kind of, quite literally, I'll walk in his footsteps, and I think I'll understand a lot more about him. And, you know, and I think it's going to be a beautiful thing. And I'm really excited for it. And I'm excited for it. And I'm excited for people to really know who I am. Because Lars, listen, I was saying, you know, you appreciate who I am. You've seen me, you work with me, you get it. But if you don't know me, I'm just some fucking comic from Hamilton with a leather jacket on and an ego. You know what I mean? And they're like, who the fuck is this guy? Why does he have gold jewelry on? And I go, because these are my dad's rings. You know what I mean? Like I am who I am. I'm a product of my environment. And I'm going to explain that to the world. And then they're going to go, oh, fuck, I hated that guy for no reason. I get it now. He's a wrestler. His dad was a wrestler. He's from Hamilton. That's why he wears leather. You know, that's why he cares so much. He doesn't want to end up in a factory. He doesn't want to end up, you know, dead. So people will get that. Anyways, I'm rambling. I had a half glass of red wine and I'm feeling glowing.
Oh, I love it. And the next phase in this career of yours on your march to becoming Bullwhip is a Northern Ontario tour. You're in Timmins, in Sudbury, and also in Bracebridge. Laughing Vikings is co-producing the Bracebridge show, and I'll be there to host. And Brandon, I think you got a little clippy clip you're going to show there, yeah?
I do.
All right, fire it up.
Away. Another surprise.
Roll the clip.
Bracebridge, it's comedian Eric Johnston, and the Eric Johnston Run with the Bull Comedy Tour 2022 is coming to Bracebridge on Sunday, February 27th at the Bracebridge Hall. Tickets are only $20, and you can get them at bbhall.ca. Go there, get your tickets now. I'm so excited to perform in this beautiful venue in Bracebridge. It's brought to you by Laughing Vikings and Lars Classington, my good friend Lars. He'll be there. Brad Bryans will be there, and I will be there. The Eric Johnston Run with the Bull Comedy Tour 2022 coming to Bracebridge Sunday, February 27th. Get your tickets now. So excited to be there. And that is no bull.
What a fucking promo that was.
I like that.
Yeah, we're the same jacket.
Sunday,
February 27th. You know what's funny? I started doing those on my first really big national tour called the Eric Johnston Small Town Comedy Tour, and they work. They listen to fucking work because it gets people excited. They see my face, they hear me talking, they see, you know, kind of the vibes, and they go, he cares so much that he's cutting a promo. It's wrestling, right? Every wrestler cuts a promo before a match. I'm just a comic who cuts promos before I go on tour. And I'll stand in this fucking basement in front of this screen, and I'll cut a promo for every single show. And just send it, whether they use it or not, I don't care, but they have it. And that's important because I believe that I'm making the poster, I'm making the promo, I'm making everything. There it is. That's a little bit of, again, another knowledge to impart. Have no shame in your promo game. You know,
Right.
if multi-level marketers can have a following, you know, something you're passionate about can also have a following. And I'm not selling you fucking Airbon or anything. I'm just talking about my comedy career.
Yeah, I think it's also a Canadian thing. The idea of self-promotion, like Canadians are so apologetic, and we like to fly under the radar. And I think that's something that we can learn from our American counterparts is when you really believe in something, to trumpet it and get it out there and be your own, like, president of your own fan club to a certain degree first, and then that hopefully that will be contagious in other people. But here,
that's how Dane Cook made it. He started his own fan page on MySpace. He became the biggest comic in the world.
Right.
You know, and you're right. And just, again, I know we're kind of trying to wrap it up in just over an hour, but, you know, the first time I toured in the States, I didn't bring any merch. I had no promotion. I had nothing. I remember that I was featuring, and the headliner's like, "Where's your merch?" I'm like, "I don't have any." He's like, "You're Canadian?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "That makes sense."
Right.
He's like, "You guys don't give a fuck." And I was like, "What do you mean?" This guy had a merch table with pop-up banners. Buy this. Every joke he had a piece of merch that went along with it. You know, he had merch, you know, t-shirts, stickers, and, you know, just had everything. And I went, why the fuck am I not doing this? I make as much money selling merchandise as I do get paid for the shows. The guarantee that I make is usually equal to, and sometimes the merch is greater than that guarantee. And I stand there, and I have the pop-up banners, and I have a little neon sign that says, like, merchandise, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I know when I'm headlining and the opening acts come through, they snicker, they go in the green room, and I'm sure they say some fucking snide remark to the other comics, and they're like, "Oh, Johnson's got his merch table set up there," and then I'll sell $850 in stickers, and they just stand there, and they're like, "Maybe I should get some merch." And I'm like, yeah, buddy, let's do it. I'll send you my guy who does my stickers. I don't give a fuck. You know, so I think, yeah, the American market really, when I first started touring, they're wised me up to promotion, merchandise, and just caring, you know, being that president of your own, comedy fan club. So, yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. All right, Eric, I think we got to wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Be sure to follow Eric Johnston on Instagram at Eric Johnston Who. And also, for those of you who are in the Muskoka Bracebridge area, make sure to grab tickets Sunday, February 27th at 8 p.m. I'll be there hosting. Eric's headlining as part of his Run the Bull tour. And that link to go to is www.bbhall.ca. Fun fact, Eric, I'm going to tell you, one of the co-owners of Bracebridge Hall is a good buddy that I went to high school with. Ooh. His name is Keith Johnston, and his father, guess what his name is?
Dan or Eric?
Eric.
I was like, it's either my dad's name or my name. One of the two. I take a shot. Eric that's Johnston. Cool.
Yeah, a little synchronicity there. So, yeah.
Hey,
so great to have you on the
everything
show.
happens for a reason, boys.
Yeah, man. This was a masterclass. Thank you so much for sharing everything about your journey. I'm sure everyone watching, whether you're an actor or a stand-up comic, you learned a ton from Eric. And thank you for sharing your father with us too. That was huge. And I know that's it's tough for people to share those stories about loss, but that's like people who watch this, they're going to connect with you because you were able to share that.
I appreciate that. So, and yeah, I like being that for somebody. If anyone watching or even watching live or after the fact, whatever, if you ever lost a parent or even just want some advice on stand-up or acting, my DMs are always open, and I always try to message people because I had some of that coming up in my career, and it was so important. You know, I'll never forget the headliners who helped me on my way up. And I will remember the headliners who didn't purposely. And, you know, it's very important to me. So thank you again.
Amazing.
All right.
Amazing. And then now we ended. What were you going to say, Brennan?
Bull horns on the way out.
Yeah, I was going to say bullwhip noises.
And then do your little spirit fingers too.
Sunday, February 27th, 8 p.m. at BB Hall, Bracebridge Hall, www.bbhall.ca. Go, go, go. Run the Bull tour. Yes.
Run with the bull. See ya.